Hello, my name is Johnny Binder, General Curator for Cameron Park Zoo. As a 30-year veteran to the zoo industry, I'm frequently asked, how did you get into the zoo business? Or if someone wanted to seek a career in the zoo industry, what would be the best career path and the best educational background? Today we're going to visit with some of our zoo staff and learn their stories of how they got interested in the zoo field, what career opportunities that surround the entire zoo business, and they're going to tell their story of how they came to be in the zoo. Come on, let's step into the wild and into a fascinating career at the zoo.
Hi, I'm Terry Cox. I'm the Curator of Programs and Exhibits here at Cameron Park Zoo. In that capacity, I'm part of the senior management team. I help to design exhibits for the zoo, and I also oversee the staff training and animal training and enrichment programs at Cameron Park Zoo. Every zoo is set up a little bit different, but most of them have curators and different animal care staff such as veterinarians, vet techs, zookeepers. And that's what most people think of when they think of careers at a zoo. However, there are so many other roles that are involved in making a zoo a successful facility. We have the executive director, we have board members, volunteers, there are the senior service staff, the grounds maintenance, horticulture, facilities maintenance. There are also different customer service aides, such as our retail aides, our admission staff, and our cafe workers. There's food service, retail management, marketing, membership, and the development. The list goes on and on. So as you travel through the zoo today and meet some of the faces that go with these titles, we hope that you'll consider a career in a zoo and enjoy it as much as all of us do.
Hi, I'm Dan Goggin from the Cameron Park Zoo. I am the Animal Care Manager for the Fish and Invertebrates section. Over here at Fish and Inverts, we take care of a wide variety of animals. Mainly our fish are our largest exhibits here. For the most part, what we do is we not only just feed them and take care of the water they live in, but we also take care of their medical needs. If we have damaged fish or sick fish, whether from parasites, bacteria, or something that's happened to them in an exhibit, we can take them out, put them in one of our medical exhibits, and we can medicate them, we take care of their wounds, and we nurse them back to health so that we can eventually put them back on exhibit. Some of the other things we do here at the zoo, we do water changes on our exhibits, we take care of the filters, we change out carbon charges, which helps take out certain types of chemicals from the water. We administer medications to our fish, whether they be copper, Panicure, Baytril, or any number of the medications that are administered to us by our veterinarian, so that we can take care of a variety of problems that they may come up with. I went to school at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. I majored in marine biology and biology. I used to work at the Florida Aquarium, and I applied for a job here back in 2006 and became manager back in 2007. The most rewarding aspect, when I go out to the public side and I see people oohing and aahing at the fish, when they learn something new, if they come away knowing something they didn't know before, that is very rewarding for me, because I know that I've done my job. Best advice I'd give is to study chemistry, math, physics, things like that. Biology or marine biology is a very, especially aquatics, is a very diverse department. We cover a lot of different things. We got to know the chemistry of our tanks. We have to know how to plumb our tanks correctly. We need to know pressures, and with our filters, we need to know when to change them. We need to know when to do backwashes. We also need to know how much of a medication to add, how much that medication is going to affect an animal, and you need to know math to be able to do all the equations involved with that, and how to figure out how much medication goes into a certain tank for certain size animals.
Well, my name's John Foster. I went to Oregon State University in Central Oregon. Did a 4-year degree there, focusing on biology with an emphasis on marine biology. After that, I went out to the Oregon Coast Community College for a year-long program in aquarium science. Finished up that program, did a great internship at the Oregon Coast Aquarium, and then I got hired on down here full-time as an aquarist. I think if I had to pick a favorite animal moment here, it would probably be when we finally got the lobster in the tank behind me right here to start hand feeding. That was a good moment when he would finally come up to the surface on this rock work in this tank right behind me and just take a fish from my hand. And we've got him on a regular feeding basis now doing that, which was real exciting. Anybody looking to get into this field, I would say find a good college with a good biology program in it. Volunteer at a zoo or aquarium, get some experience, maybe try and help out with the local fish store. They do a lot of work at homes and smaller businesses that'll give you a lot of experience with a lot of different systems.
My name is Jason Vensalik. I'm a herpetarium keeper here at the Cameron Park Zoo in Waco, Texas. I received my bachelor's degree from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. It's a fishery and wildlife degree similar to a zoology degree. During my last semester of college, I was fortunate enough to intern at the Henry Dorley Zoo, where I worked with a lot of different reptiles, specifically crocodilians. And from that point on, I kind of knew I wanted to be a zookeeper, or to the very least, at least work in this field. Right now, I have about 3 years experience total. One of the things I find most rewarding and also challenging at the same time about being a herpetarium keeper is that when you first start a program with any animal, specifically a reptile, because they can be very hard to work with, those first steps are just so difficult. But once you can see the whole thing come full circle, come to an end, and the animal does what you need it to do, that's a very rewarding part of the job. One of my most memorable moments here at the zoo is it has to be all these training programs we've been putting together, specifically with the Komodo dragons. Our female Komodo wouldn't even eat in front of us for about 4 months, and I had tried a training program prior to that, and without her eating in front of us, there was no reward to give her for the training to work. One day on exhibit, I was just sitting out there with her, trying to get her to familiar with me, and she ate a rodent, and then probably within 2 weeks later, she was already target training. So it took about 4 months just to get her to do that one simple step, but once that happened, everything else kind of fell into place. As far as what advice I'd give somebody who would want to pursue a career as a zookeeper or in the herpetology field, the best advice would be to start with a solid education. While you're getting that education, find out what animals you want to work with or what area of the zoological field you want to work in, and start volunteering. And there's a lot of also internships out there where you can get paid.
My name is Tasia Johnson. I went to school at Tabor College. While at Tabor, I interned with primates and I did senior research with chimpanzees. I've been to South Africa, done some work with large mammals there, and I've been to Belize. I've done some work in the rainforest and some coral reef assessments there. And I've actually had a couple internships with large mammals at AZA accredited institutions. I came to Cameron Park Zoo because it was my first job, and being a recent graduate, it was just more fitting to actually come to a smaller institution to start my career off. The most rewarding part of my career here at the Cameron Park Zoo is the fact that no matter what my personal life is like, when I come here at the zoo every day, I'm greeted by these smiley orange faces or the lemurs or the gibbons, and they're just always doing something silly to make me forget about my issues or whatever and just be thankful that I have this career. Advice I would give to someone who wants to be a zookeeper is to get a college education, either at a four-year institution in the science or to go to a smaller junior college that has specific animal-related associate's degrees. I would also stress that they volunteer as often as they can, because sometimes that volunteer experience can get you into the door better than what schooling can, because you would have the hands-on.
My name is Amanda Butler, and I am the Animal Care Manager of Mammals here at the zoo. My daily routine consists of just bouncing between our 5 areas in the mammal department. We have 5 runs for the department, anything from small mammals to primates all the way up to elephants, and then everything in between. So typically we come in the morning, we have a morning debriefing. I make sure staff is lined out, and then I just kind of fill in anywhere that's needed, making sure that protocols are adhered to, that the animal collection is well taken care of, that things are being maintained properly, and that our enrichment and training is being done the way it should be. Also working as a keeper, not only just a manager and overseeing things, but also doing daily keeper duties, so cleaning, feeding, just making sure everybody's happy and healthy. I started here at the zoo actually as a teenager. I was about 15 or 16 years old. I started working in the gift shop and cafe and also volunteering with the animals. During college, I also maintained the working in the gift shop and cafe and also the volunteering. And through the volunteering and getting to know everybody, I was actually able to gain a position as a keeper here. I started out very early on as a keeper and just kind of learned my way through. My advice would be, if you would like to pursue this field, or actually any field that you pursue, it's best to always volunteer in that field and get a feel for what the institution's about, kind of what the workload will be. And that's some advice that my mom gave me. She was an educator, and she very much is the type to plan your future and know what you're getting into before you start in that field and end up not enjoying it. So I would very much just encourage people to volunteer. We have many volunteer opportunities here at the zoo throughout all the departments and in our education department, in all of our animal care areas, and it's just a great opportunity to not only give back to the community, but also to kind of cultivate who you are as a person and where your interests lie.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm the Animal Care Manager of Birds here at the Cameron Park Zoo. And on a day-to-day basis, my job entails looking after the birds. We do all the feeding, all the cleaning on a day-to-day basis. And then my job also includes looking into the vet care and making arrangements to bring in new birds when they're needed. We ship birds in and out of the zoo sometimes, so I look after that for our department. We raise babies in the springtime when we have eggs. There's a lot of different things going on, and we're pretty much busy year-round with all different kinds of things going on. If I were to give advice to somebody who wanted to be a zookeeper, I would say get as much animal experience as you can, however you can do it. If you can volunteer at your local zoo, I started out as a teenager volunteering at a local zoo. I worked my way up to being a docent, which is a part-time volunteer. I worked part-time at a zoo during school. Anything you can do to get as much animal experience as you can. That is the best way to get into the field, and that's mostly what people look at, is what experience you have with what kind of animals. So as many things as you can do to get out there and get working with animals, that's the best way to get into the field.
I'm Nikki Shelton. I am the grounds crew supervisor here at Cameron Park Zoo. I'm in charge of maintaining the 52 acres natural habitat zoo. We, on a daily basis, maintain playgrounds. Weekly we mow, keep up with irrigation and exhibits. And what I like most about working here at Cameron Park Zoo is the staff. I have a good group of guys that work for me. They're gifted and talented, and it's my job to keep them challenged.
My name's Gary Kilpatrick. I'm a member of the Cameron Park Zoo grounds crew. On a daily basis here, above and beyond irrigation, water distribution, things of that nature, we also get into the animal exhibits, do animal exhibit design, such as perching in the aviaries, different things for enrichment for the animals. We get to design that kind of stuff. We also do special projects that are a little more on the construction end rather than the landscaping and grounds maintenance. We just built a wrought iron gate for the Meadows restrooms, and it was designed by the grounds crew, built by the grounds crew, painted and installed by the grounds crew. It really turned out nice.
My name is Dr. Terry Hurst, and I'm a contract veterinarian for Cameron Park Zoo. And I'm a consulting veterinarian for the animals here. And basically what I do is I help them with the medical and all the health and care of the animals insofar as their health and well-being. I come here basically once a week for a minimum of about 3 hours, and we generally have animals that are put on a contract round list that needs certain services performed for them, and we go and we look at those animals, whether they have medical needs or health needs that need to be addressed that day, and based upon what we find on our exams for those days, we determine whether they need to be knocked down and handled or whether we can just start procedures or treatments on them at that time. We do that at least once a week. I also come out for emergencies on an as-needed basis if needed. And for those cases where there's something that needs to be seen right away, if it's a smaller animal, they can bring it out to my clinic. And I have a private practice out in Robinson that I also do small animals, large animals, and some exotics out there too. I guess the favorite part of my job here is just the fact that it's such a diverse species, and we get to work with a lot of really exotic animals that there's not a lot of information out there available on, so you really have to network a lot with personnel here and with personnel across the nation to be able to develop certain treatment protocols or health protocols to where you can keep the animals healthy and active. I can tell you I originally got into veterinary medicine back in 1989, and I started off in a large animal practice, working just with cattle and horses and dogs and cats. And, never figured I'd be in zoo medicine, but a lot of kids nowadays, if they want to get into zoo medicine, what they're looking at is they will graduate from veterinary school, go into an internship program, in which is a one-year program at most veterinary schools, and they can do that internship for a year and then decide if they want to stay in zoo wildlife medicine. They can do a residency at that point, and from then they can develop a specialty or even get a specialty license in zoo medicine to be able to work specifically at zoos.
I'm Dwayne McGregor, Marketing and Public Relations Manager with Cameron Park Zoo. I came to Cameron Park Zoo in the year 2000 as a marketing manager. One of the main things to do for the marketing position at the zoo is that you are one of the spokespersons, and so you are constantly in the public eye. And the other thing is that you have to keep the gate up. That is probably the primary position of the marketing is to keep the gate up. And you do need to know how to do market research on buying media and the different areas, track all the different areas of where your guests are coming from. And on the event coordinating side, one of the things that we needed to do was create a source of new income to come in. So we created birthday party and picnic packages to market to different companies, and weddings happened to evolve out of that, so that was also another great source of income. If you want to pursue a career in marketing, you need to, or event planning, you need to be really detail oriented, you need to enjoy research and try to learn as much as you can about media buying, and if you happen to have a good eye for design, that also helps.
I'm Diane Jordan, and I'm the membership coordinator and office manager at Cameron Park Zoo Society office. I came to work, I got bachelor's degree in journalism and graphics at Baylor University. I did not work for about 13 years, but then went to work part-time for the Association of Life Underwriters, where I did a lot of work with databases. I enjoy that and that organizational type of work. That was part-time, and then I was approached to work at the zoo, and a lot of my friends thought I would fit in very well here with the database. And that is basically what the membership part of this area is, and we've moved a long way. I will have been here 10 years in September, and we have gone from having a database that we worked that had 10,000 members in it just from when the zoo began in 1993 to, I can't imagine how many, but we have over 4,000 members, so it's way on up there. And I work on that online. The database is online now rather than just something we have in our computers. But my job expanded. I originally started with the membership, and then it went to things which were more financial and writing checks, working with audits, preparing 1099s with the accounting people, and I probably spend 2/3 of my time doing that now. The filing invoices, audits, that kind of thing. Working at a zoo is the most unique thing I can think of is because I work in front of computers, and most people would say, oh, you're outside. No, I'm not. I'm in front of a computer, and it's very humorous when I have people call in and start asking a animal question, and I will tell them I have no idea what to tell you, but I can pass you to who will. But occasionally I get a phone call from one of the keepers or from you, and you'll say, would you like to come down and see a baby giraffe being born? Very few people can say, sure, no problem. I'd love to see a baby giraffe being born while I'm at work. And I have done that. That has happened. So the zoo is a unique place, and if I ever get a little overstressed, I can always take a walk in a lovely park. So you don't have that very often. Those are things that are just kind of cool for being here, for doing something that my job is a lot of nitpicking things in the details that most people aren't really interested in doing a lot of, but I enjoy it. I will organize anything, put anything on a spreadsheet you want, and keep track of stuff. That's kind of where I fit in.
Hi, I'm Michael Davis. I'm the retail sales manager here at Cameron Park Zoo. I'm responsible for buying, pricing, and taking care of the inventory for the zoo's gift shop, Zootique. Also, we have 2 kiosks on grounds, and we're very excited about opening in the spring a new outpost of the gift shop at our Brazos River Country exhibit called Brazos River Trading Post. So my job is to determine what merchandise we'll sell, what we need to sell it for, maintaining a margin that's acceptable, and then taking care of our inventory and stocking. To make sure that I'm ordering merchandise that fits in with what we do here at the zoo, I have had to learn about the animal collection. I don't want to order plush animals that we don't have here at the zoo. I want to make sure that I'm ordering realistic animals and that I'm ordering animals that are earth-friendly and support our mission in that way as well. So I've had to also learn about the zoo collection, about the processes of the zoo, because a lot of times we're the people that get asked questions on the front line as people are coming through the gift shop. They may have had questions that they had throughout the day. So we do have to have at least a working knowledge of the animal collections and of the zoo itself. I went to school at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. My degree is actually in marketing, and I have a minor in English. I started out in sales in my career, outside sales, and then moved into sales administration, and then eventually into retail. I would advise anyone that wants to have a career in retail, either at a boutique, gift shop level, or at a big box discount store or department store level, to start by working in the store. You have to understand, even if you do it while you're going to school, you have to understand on the ground up how to merchandise, how to sell, how to stock, how to take care of the inventory. It's really hard to come into a retail management position without having that experience previously. So I found that's been the most helpful thing for me.
My name's Jim Fleshman. I'm the director and CEO of the Cameron Park Zoological and Botanical Society. And the basis of my job is oversight of zoo operations, and to look towards the future of the zoo and try to make sure that it's financially secure and that we grow the facility and keep it a relevant organization, and that it's maintained in modern zookeeping practices, and that we maintain our accreditation with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. My education is kind of the roundabout way. I was at Kansas State University for many years and decided to leave, and ended up getting a full-time position at the San Antonio Zoo as a zookeeper in the hoofstock department, large mammals, and then moved up to a senior zookeeper, and then finally as supervisor of the mammal department at San Antonio. And I was there for about 7.5 years before leaving to accept my first zoo director job at Abilene, Texas. And it was a huge jump for me and my whole family. It took me from running a department of animals to running an entire facility, and having an animal background and looking at all of a sudden marketing plans and business plans and having to run financials. It was a little bit difficult. Plus managing a board of directors for the first time was an interesting case, and I stayed there for 7 years. But while I was there, part of my responsibilities were to go back to school and finish my degree, and I ended up with a Bachelor of Science degree, Bachelor of Science in Life Sciences. And following that, I took the position here as Director and CEO of the zoo in Cameron Park, and we've been busy for the last 11 years. We've put in about $18 million worth of work in that time, and we've really, I think, grown the facility and made it a real gem within our local community. And we've kind of grown it from being a local zoo to more of a regional facility that has international recognition, which is really, I think, something special for us. I think the best thing you can do is to get your degree. I always call them an ology degree, either in biology, mammalogy, ornithology, herpetology, ichthyology, one of those. And then I would also recommend you take several business or financing courses if you want to be a zoo director. It's either that or on the marketing side. It will help you in the future. I think it kind of gives you a more objective view of some things. And then to get your foot in, we're really a catch-22 because you always want to hire somebody who has experience, but you can't get the experience unless you can get your foot in the door. So it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So I would suggest offering to do an internship at a facility and make the internship where it's beneficial for them, where you have to give a lot of your time in order to get the experience that you want. And I think if you can do a 12-month to an 18-month internship, or volunteer and be very involved to where everyone knows you, then you can typically get a good recommendation for a full-time job somewhere. But it all boils down to work ethic and whether or not you're a hard worker. I think in this day and age, people want to know that if they hire somebody that they're going to get 8 hours worth of good hard work out of somebody instead of just having a body on the payroll. And I think that's becoming more and more critical today.
Thank you for joining us on today's Step Into the Wild. I hope you found the program fascinating and learned a lot about the many career opportunities and career paths in today's zoo industry. Please come out and visit your Cameron Park Zoo soon.
The Cameron Park Zoo in Waco is a member by invitation of the World Association of Zoos and Aquariums and is an accredited member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, a worldwide organization of more than 200 accredited members who are leaders in global wildlife conservation and assistance in helping animals in their native habitat. For more information, visit CameronParkZoo.com.